Hello everyone and welcome to another Daily Dose of Drupal. Today we are on episode number 231. As always, I am Shane Thomas. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at smthomas3. Also, make sure you go to codekarate.com, sign up for the newsletter, and check out or subscribe on YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about the menu item extras module. Let's go ahead and get started. So you can see we're on the drupal.org page for the menu item extras module. And this module allows you to add fields to your Drupal menu items. So this is very useful if you ever needed to associate an image with a menu link, maybe as a background image behind the text or an icon, something like that. It's also useful to build out more complex menu structures, perhaps with things like bigger mega menus, things of that nature, where you might want different types of menus in a menu list to have a slightly different display. So it's really useful for building out something like that. Today we're going to be using the 8.x-2.7 version. So if we come over here to our example Drupal website, you can see we have the menu item extras module enabled. There's also a demo that comes with it. I wouldn't use this on an actual site you're building, but if you have a test site around and you want to see some of the capabilities of the module, it can be pretty useful to just see what you can do with it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our menu, and I'm just going to go to the main navigation on the site. You can see I don't have any links yet. I'll probably add one or two here, but you will notice there's a bunch of extra fields, tabs here. The first is Manage Fields. It makes it seem, if you're familiar with adding fields to content types, it's very similar. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and add just an image field. And we'll just call it image. And we'll go ahead and leave it the default settings. So I will save this field. And now you'll notice that I also can go to Manage Form Display and choose how this field actually is displayed. So you can see right now it's going to just be displayed as a preview thumbnail. This is on the form display itself, so when I'm adding a menu item, I can also choose how it's displayed when you actually are viewing the menu item. So in this case, it'll have the label above. Maybe I want to hide that. I'll keep the image format the same and just leave it at that for now. Let's go ahead and add a menu item and then see how this actually works and how it looks. So if I go to Structure, Menus, Main Navigation, I'm going to add a link. And I'm going to add one for codekarate.com. You can see it allows me this option to select View Mode. I'll show you what that means here in a little bit. But if we save it, you can see I now have a Code Karate link here. So that looks good. If I go back to, I'm going to rearrange this. If I go back to the home page, here's my Code Karate link, but let's actually go back in there. And you can see down here I have an image field. I didn't fill this in last time, but I will go ahead and find an image. And now if I go to the home page, you'll notice I have this giant image here. Probably don't want that, so maybe we can tweak it just a little bit. If I go to Manage Display, perhaps I'm just going to display it as a thumbnail. Of course, I could create new image styles. Where this could be really useful is if you were building, like a tools menu down here, and you wanted icons next to each link. So you wanted to be able to say this is, an edit link, and maybe it's a little pencil icon, or a settings link, and it's a little gear icon, something like that. So you could build up if more of an administration type menu, but you could also do a lot of cool things with other types of fields, not just images. I've used it in the past with images as like a background, so you have a nice drop down with kind of text overlaid on kind of a transparent background. So it's pretty flexible that way. There is the ability to use different view modes though. So if you go to Display Modes, View Modes, you'll see there's nothing for menu items by default, but if we add a view mode, we can add a custom menu link. So I'm just going to call it Image Link. And what this is going to allow me to do is you'll see it shows up here. and you can add multiple view modes. But if I go back to my menu, and if I edit one of my links, you can see I should be able to select this view mode. Maybe I need to add a new one. Oh, I haven't turned it on, obviously. If you go to Manage Display, make sure you turn this view mode on if you want to use it. So let's say my default, I don't want the image displayed. But on my image link, I do want the image displayed, probably above any child menu links. I don't want a label, and I'll keep it as a thumbnail. Now, if I go back and I edit a menu item, you can see I can change the view mode here, or I can go to View Mode Settings, and I can change the view mode for all the menu links right here. It doesn't have the original home menu link on here, so I'd have to re-add that in order to get that to show up. But it does, we'll show you any new menu items that you add, and so you can customize certain menu items to show up certain ways. So if I leave it at default, you'll see it shows up as normal, but if I change it to image link, it will show up with the actual image. So what you can do is you can use your different, you can actually use your templates to change the ordering of this and change the design a little bit, so you can override it in your theme just by overriding the twig template. So it's very customizable. You're going to probably have to do some theme work to get it to show up the way you want, depending on how your design looks or how you want it to end up. But it's very useful to get some extra flexibility for your menu items. So that's it for this time on the Daily Dose of Drupal. Go ahead and try this module out. Let me know how it goes for you. Make sure you're following me on Twitter, smthomas3. Check out the other videos on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.